I'm Taylor, by the way, and if this is online, elsewhere I'm known as Murby, so, see, branding. Anyways, like I said, how I became homeless and how I came to San Francisco are intrinsically linked. I realized I was transgender back in August of '08, late August, and I hadn't been able to do anything about it. I got the blood tests as I could to see what could be done, because that's the first step. And I was told I couldn't be prescribed, not because the doctor wasn't able to get him, but because, I probably would have been lynched. So it's for my own safety. And so for about 2 years, about a year and a half, I did what I could just to make it through. And through that time, I had just met a few people online, and one of them directed me to this forum. And through that forum, I met someone who, jokingly, I made a post, "Hey, anyone in the Bay Area need a roommate?" And one of them responded, so I took it up. And I moved down to Fremont in April of 2010. And those 6 months that I lived there were pretty hard, and it ended with, I had a scam job. It's not really a job, it's a scam. But I got fired from that, thankfully. Waste of time. I got fired from that, and my roommates kicked me out, and in the process, they recounted a bunch of events from my stay there, and there were two roommates. There was the one who had invited me down, and then her girlfriend, and they were a master-servant relationship. And it was the master in the relationship who freaking was just insane, and she just, I was scared of living there, but I had no way out, and I felt that because they had offered it to me, I felt it would be wrong of me to just ditch out on them. I felt like they opened this place to me so I could stay down here. I don't want to betray that. Even though it was horrible living conditions. I mean, she even once threatened to stab me if she accidentally cut herself cutting food. And it was like, whoa. That's kind of an extreme reaction. You cut yourself, I get stabbed. How's that work? But anyways, and she had recounted a bunch of events from my stay there, and they were so incredibly twisted to make me look like I was a bumbling moron and her look like she was friggin' Einstein. And it was like, I don't know what it was, but my body did, I made a weird sound and I freaking shut down. And when I came to, about 30 minutes later, I couldn't move. So I struggled to get up, and I started, managed to slowly get all my functions back in my control. And they kicked me out, and they said I could stay there until I found somewhere else to move to. And for me, that place was the streets here in San Francisco, because apparently that was a viable option for them, because anywhere was better than there. But yeah, that's how I became homeless and came to San Francisco. But right before then, in the last 2 weeks I was staying there, I did manage to finally get Medi-Cal and finally get on hormones, so I guess it was good timing.
You got closer to your goal, but really unsafe situation.
Well, as I see it, that whole 6-month span was kind of a test of my resolve. To see if I could put up with that with the goal of being able to finally get on hormones. And I did. I did survive, and now I'm out here. I'm doing much better than ever because I don't have people telling me fallacious stories. And if they do, I can walk away.
So when you got to San Francisco and were homeless, what was that like? Was it out on the street sleeping? Was it couch surfing?
Luckily, I never, the day before I moved out here, I was told about meal night. Because the place I was going to was, the only big trans center for, in all of Alameda County. Tri-City Health Center, I think it was. And they freaking, one of the people there directed me to meal night here. And friggin' through that, I was directed to shown where the Lark-Inn was. So, my first night here, because I freaking went right to the Lark-Inn and managed to get an emergency bed. And there were a few times I didn't get an emergency bed, but there were always other options. And the worst one I had to do was when I had to go to MSC South. I didn't get in. I got 1 hour of sleep that night. This annoying kid. I mean, I thank him for accompanying me, because I wouldn't have been able to carry my heavy bag all the way down to freaking MSC South. Like,
yeah.
I have back problems. Like, that's why I totally secretly kept my bag at the Larkin, even though technically I wasn't supposed to. But because I wasn't able to move it a lot because it was so heavy. Didn't help the bag was broken too, but freaking, I've got an bed there, a permanent bed there, and after not too long, like I had like 2 weeks. I got like I think on the 21st or 22nd of October, and I moved down here October 6th.
So pretty quickly you got a permanent shelter bed.
Yeah, and it was cool because it was the very back bed with like the darkest bed in the place, or one of them. Yeah,
so MSC South is like a big room full of like 20 bunk beds, right? 20.
I didn't even get in. I fell asleep in the waiting area because it was like so over capacity. That's pretty much all you can do sometimes. And like, it's like, oh, you can sleep in the waiting room, but if you see with the blanket, we're gonna take it away from you. And so like it's like a crazy place, and it's definitely motivation to make sure you don't have to go into the adult shelters. Hell, if I don't have my own place by the time I'm 25, I'm just moving back home.
Yeah. What kind of place do you live in now?
I'm in Castro Youth Housing. It's initiative. It's through Larkin Street, and it's a multi-site program, but the site I'm at is an SRO hotel in Soma. And I've got my own room. It's kind of tiny, but it's cozy. I've got, like, hell, look, I've got it set up to work exactly how I want it to. I'm still working on it. And the place even has internet, so that's good, too. Like, I can do everything I need to do there.
So it's probably like a one tiny little room with just, like, a twin bed.
A twin bed.
Shared bathrooms.
Shared bathroom. The room itself has a twin bed. It has a mini fridge. It has a microwave. And other things I will not divulge due to the fact technically I should not have them.
Well, thank goodness for privacy, right? Does it feel like a home to live there?
It does.